What is up, YouTube? Welcome to the Solving Welcome to another video. Today we are going to go over yet another Supreme piece that is near and dear to my heart. In the last episode or last installment, we went over the 2014 H.R. Geiger collab, and I showed off one of the pieces from that collab, which was a Coach jacket, and I discussed why it was one of my favorite pieces and kind of why I like that piece and the history behind that piece. And I also discussed H.R. Geiger as an artist and kind of things that he was influential in, and just overall I went in some background. And a lot of you guys liked that video. I asked you guys if you want me to do that video some more, or do that type of video where I go over pieces that I like. That way I'm not always just showing off the newest stuff from Supreme, and I'm showing you guys some older product. Now, I feel like that piece wasn't really that hyped at all. In fact, at the time, you could buy it for pretty close to retail. I'm pretty sure you still can. I know a lot of people actually hit me up and they were like thanking me because they were like, yo, after you made that video, they went and bought my H.R. Geiger piece, or people were like hitting me up like, yo, I went and got an H.R. Geiger piece. So I thought that was kind of cool because it's just nice to see that other people appreciated this dope piece that they may not have known about beforehand. But since that wasn't really a hype piece, I wanted to go over something a little bit more hype today, and that is the one, the only 2015 Supreme Playboy collab. Now, this piece right here, or these pieces, are arguably some of the most hyped Supreme Playboy collabs. I would say that there's the varsity jacket, it's also pretty hyped, but it's kind of a toss-up as to which one is more hyped. These are definitely some of the most hyped pieces from Supreme Playboy. And oftentimes, when they do a Playboy collab, especially now, like these last 2 or 3 years, people will be like, oh, it's not as good as the old Playboy collabs, and they'll compare it to like 2015, which I agree with. I don't think that the Playboy collabs have been that great as of late, but we'll discuss the Playboy collabs in a moment. Before we get into it, I do want to say, if you want to see some fire photos of this full suit, make sure you follow me on my Instagram. My Instagram is fire. It'll change your life, and I promise you, you will understand. In 2 days when I post a photo, you will get exactly how much work I put into my, I always go the extra step to try and get the right photo for you guys. The shoes that I matched with this, a couple other little things that I included in the photo. Really, there's only one thing I could think of that would make that photo just even more insane, but just trust me, the photo I'm gonna post in this, I'm gonna do a little photo series. But anyways, as you guys can see, I picked this up from StockX. These right here I actually got from a trade with a subscriber. I traded him some FTP, he gave me these pants, and he's in Canada, so basically, it's really hard for him to get FTP. He's a fan of the brand. He wanted some, so I worked out a trade for him. I feel like, honestly, I got probably the better deal, and I felt really blessed. He hooked me up, and he's just a homie for doing that deal, and I appreciate him for sure. Now, as I said, with the hoodie, I got from StockX. Now, StockX is a platform, for those of you that don't know, where you can buy and sell shoes, Supreme, watches, purses, all sorts of things. I never really talked about StockX a lot prior because, as you guys know, this is primarily a fashion channel, not a sneaker channel, and I am into sneakers, but I don't normally pay resale for sneakers often. And I try to refrain from that. I will say this last year there have been a couple that I've just had to buy resale, which I'm going to show off soon. If you guys want to see a sneaker unboxing, of course, smash that like button. But anyways, when StockX started selling Supreme, a lot of people started asking my opinions on live, and I've discussed this before, but I think StockX is a great platform, and I think for people who want to get into selling, especially put your stuff on StockX. It might already be on eBay, it might already be on Grailed or whatever, but make sure you post your stuff everywhere. Because for me, I can sell my stuff on Robitussin and Poppy. I have platforms, I have you guys that I can market my product to. But as a seller, you don't always have that. So if you do not have a platform to sell your product, it is good to put your product everywhere. And even if you have a smaller platform, it's good to put your product everywhere. So make sure you post your stuff to StockX. Now, of course, one of the benefits to StockX compared to other companies is the fact that they do offer an authentication service, right? Where basically they legit check everything that gets sent out. So that way you can buy with a little bit more assurance that you're getting something legit. And they usually include a tag that looks like this. It says verified authentic. This one has a little QR code on the back, and it's good because something like this piece is obviously extremely popular, so it is faked quite a bit. Now, this piece right here, some differences between the reals and the fakes, right? The fakes will usually have really dilated pupils, like they just dropped acid or something. The bunnies are just tripping balls, right? They got super dilated pupils. I'm gonna leave a picture somewhere on the screen so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. And then another thing is the way the bunnies are facing. If you look, all these bunnies are facing to the left. Now you might be saying, Jacob, these ones are facing to the right. No, they're not facing to the right because they are upside down. Of course, if you turn the hoodie upside down, then yes, they are all facing to the left. So right side up, the bunnies should all be facing to the left. Crip bunnies. So yeah, overall this piece is faked quite a bit, and it's something that you have to be aware of. You have to be careful when you buy, and that's one of the reasons that StockX is a good platform, because you can buy with a little bit more assurance. Now, I will say, nothing is ever 100% guaranteed, so anything you get, just get legit check, put more eyes on it, whatever. I never quite understand when people are like, oh, is StockX legit? I don't really understand those, because it's like asking, is eBay legit? Is Grailed legit? Like, the platform itself is not a seller. They're just a middleman, right? It's just kind of a different way of handling business, but essentially what they do is people will send their product, they'll post their stuff for sale, then they will send it to StockX. Once it sells, StockX will legit check it, verify it, and then they will 2-day ship it to you. And I do think the communication is pretty nice, which I'll go over in a moment. But first, I want to discuss this piece some more. As I said, this is a 2015 Playboy collab, and like I was saying, a lot of people compare the collabs to this piece. Now, I think that this is definitely one of the better collections. It's one of the only collabs I really care about, and some of the recent Playboy collabs to me have been somewhat lackluster. I liked the polo they did recently, and there are pieces that I like. No matter what, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of biased. I will like it. I know I have that internal bias. However, they just don't really compare to some of the older collabs, and for that reason, I just feel like they haven't been doing as great as they were. Now, that being said, for those of you that know, Hugh Hefner passed away last September, and I don't know if Supreme's going to keep doing Playboy collabs. If they do, I really hope they do something in honor of Hugh Hefner, and I hope that they do something that is just insane, like an insane Playboy collab. I feel like now would definitely be the time, obviously, due to the recent situation that happened. But yeah, man, rest in peace, Hugh Hefner. And just overall, I think Playboy, right? It's something that, like, it's a brand that a lot of people go crazy for when they collab with other people. For example, right, I really wanted the Mastermind Playboy hoodie, and that was on Grailed for like $1,000, which is just absolutely ridiculous, so I could not justify buying it. But it's a piece that I really like. I like a lot of the Playboy collabs, and although I don't have that piece, I will say that this piece to me is definitely just as good, if not better, and also a lot cheaper. Like, you can find these pieces for... They're going to be expensive. They're not going to be cheap at all. I mean, the suit costs like somewhere right around like $1,000. If you want one in good condition, that is. But that's just absolutely ridiculous. It's a lot of money for a pair of pants and a hoodie. Now, they do have Vans as well that go along with these that actually have a matching little design or little graphic on them. I think the Vans dropped in a couple other colorways. I think they dropped burgundy in the Vans, and I don't think they dropped burgundy in these hoodies or the sweatpants. I think they dropped white, red, like a gold, or like kind of like a gold beige color, and then a black. But yeah, man, this is definitely a piece I've wanted in my personal collection for quite some time. As you can see, Supreme right there in some kind of cursive script, and I'm just super stoked to have this. I'm so glad that I got this from StockX. Speaking of StockX, by the way, I'm gonna leave a link to their website down in the description below, and I'm also gonna leave a link to download their app for those of you that are watching on your phone, or if you want to go to this video and give me a second view from your phone and then download the app, definitely go do that. Their app has a really unique experience that I'm going to talk about in a moment, but they do also have a really cool shopping experience. It's kind of like an online stock market. Now, if I take my laptop out of my little backpack right there and I open it up, and I open up a new tab other than the Isaiah Thomas Go Sneaker Shopping with Complex, which you guys should go check out because Isaiah Thomas is from Tacoma, and then I look at StockX, and when you go into StockX, you can go to the main page, you can hit search, search Supreme. You can search Supreme box logo. If you're unfamiliar with the name, of course, just try to find it on the Supreme website. Usually they have a lot of their stuff archived. When you go back to the homepage, at the bottom you can see all these little prices going up or going down, just like you would see on a normal stock market. That's what I think is kind of interesting about StockX and like the way that they I guess, display their product. For me, I don't know really what a lot of these are. I imagine these are shoes, like this is probably Air Max 97 Bronze. I don't know, Reebok Classic, something white. And so they show like different prices going up and down. I don't know how they figure out their like product numbers or product like titles or descriptions or whatever, but I just think it's kind of an interesting take because as you can see, it's meant to be displayed as a stock market. And then it shows like the overall index, which I think is kind of interesting. This is obviously just based off of their sales, which I think is kind of interesting. Look at that, 743, 1 million. That's kind of crazy. I wonder what these dates right here align with. Like, I don't know, it's kind of interesting to see how they display their product, but overall, I will say that I think StockX is a great platform. But this is kind of the cool part of StockX. So if you go to the portfolio, you can see each item listed out, and you can see the gains and losses of each item. You can see whether or not you bought it above or below the market value, and I think that's something that's kind of unique to StockX. So anyways, these are some of the reasons why I personally like StockX. I like their communication, I like their layout, I like everything else. Of course, I do want some of their keyword searches to be improved, and I hope that they do that in the future. Obviously, when it comes to Supreme, they're like somewhat new to like selling Supreme. They just started, and they've already seen a lot of success. A lot of people have hit me up talking about like buying stuff or buying Supreme off StockX, and it's just, I've just been hearing their name circulating in the YouTube hemisphere and just like the streetwear community a lot more lately. I also didn't know this until I watched a Complex video, but I guess Eminem is actually invested into StockX as well. So, I mean, it's a huge company. Like I said, they also have a unique experience on the phone, and this is something that I actually saw from my friend Harrison. If you guys don't know, Harrison is a great YouTuber. He was talking about the StockX experience on the phone, and I thought that was really cool because I don't really use my phone to shop a lot, but I know a lot of people do. Personally, I just use my computer. Anytime I'm gonna go shopping, I use my computer. So when it comes to the phone, so once again, when you open up the app, going through what you see displayed, you see like their episodes or their webisodes or whatever. You see the tap to turn on push notifications, and then you see the stock market at the top right there. You'll see Eminem. Is that Emily Obert? What's good, girl? Anyways, so you go to your account. Once you log in, you see your profile right here. You go to search. You can type in Yeezy Blue Tints because you know your boy got a pair. Then you can hit this plus, hit add to portfolio. You can select your size. You can see like, you know, what condition you bought them in. You put your purchase date. I don't remember what date I bought them on. I want to say it was like September. It wasn't too long ago. Definitely wasn't September 2018 because I did not buy them in the future. And then you can select your purchase price, and I got them for retail. I believe I paid $220 exactly. Maybe I paid like $240. Maybe I paid like the shipping too, or maybe it was just, I don't remember. Anyways, we'll just see. So add. Now that you have the Adidas Yeezy Boost in your portfolio, you can click your portfolio and you can see the market value. So you see the market value is $364. You can see that you have like your gains and losses, average price. Right here you see that the purchase price is $240, the market value is $364, and I'm currently 124 in the positive, right? So I've made money on that purchase. So I don't know. I mean, I guess it just depends where you want to shop, whether you want to shop on the computer or whether you want to shop on your phone. Either way, I would say check out the links below. I'm gonna leave a link to their website and then a link to download their app, like I said. What do you guys think of the 2015 Supreme Playboy collab? What's your favorite Supreme Playboy collab, or what's your favorite Playboy collab in general? Let me know down in the comments below. Of course, make sure you smash that like button. And most importantly, the most important thing, if you can get one thing from this video, it is to go follow me on Instagram. Trust me, it'll change your life. There'll be someone on the screen and in the description below. Of course, I'm really stoked to have this in my personal collection. And just, man, as Anthony Fantano would say, the needle drop. Shout out to the best music reviewer in the world. Supreme Playboy forever.